to my little friend!
Al Capone, one of the wealthiest, ruthless, and famous gangsters of the 1920s. But how did he get there? Right here. Prohibition. Just as drug dealers these days sell illegal drugs for profit, the famous Al Capone's mafia had speakeasies. Basically, an illegal bar that sold alcohol for profit. The classic gangster versus cop scene of the 1920s, usually seen in Hollywood movies, came from these speakeasies. When cops would raid the speakeasies, Al Capone's famous mafia would Tommy gun them down. Mafias would also use tactics to eliminate powerful people in the government. They would use blackmail, bribery, and establish mutually dependent business relationships. In doing this, they were able to remove people of power, and due to circumstances from the tactics the mafia used, select people were easily slipped into office. This gave the mafia even more power, as now corrupt authority was now placed in the government by them. Gang wars were a big part of organized crime in the 1920s too. Shooting between gangs usually broke out anywhere from a back alley to a grocery store. Mafias would also destroy the speakeasies of other rival mafias, considering they were a large source of profit. They would use techniques such as walking into a bar and shooting it up, or throwing grenades. They would do this by grouping up in a car, driving past a bar, and throwing live grenades through the window of a bar. However, organized crime does not particularly involve only mafias. If you could get together with someone, pull off a huge crime scandal, and get away with a buttload of cash, you were involved with organized crime too. Take Bonnie and Clyde, for example. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were the original outlaw lovers. In their career of crime, they formed a gang called the Barrow Gang. They went about the country robbing banks and gas stations. They killed a total of 9 cops and countless civilians. Unfortunately, they were eventually ambushed and killed by police on May 23, 1934.
Retribution. Here is Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker, who died as they lived, by the gun. Bonnie is seen leaning against Clyde. Clyde was a master gunman. Seldom did anyone ever live when Clyde got the first shot.
As for the relation to the Great Gatsby, we all know Meyer Wolfsheim and his Moeller cufflinks definitely made a strong symbol towards organized crime. The following is a quote by Meyer Wolfsheim in The Great Gatsby on page 69. "So I took one look at him," said Mr. Wolfsheim, shaking my hand earnestly. "And what do you think I did?" "What?" I inquired politely, but evidently he was not addressing me, for he dropped my hand and covered Gatsby with his expressive nose. "I handed the money to Catspole, and I said, 'All right, Catspole, don't pay him a penny till he shuts his mouth.' He shut it then and there." As we can see, the dialogue of Mr. Wolfsheim suggests that he is talking about A, a drug deal, or B, paying a sassy hitman. This definitely has something to do with organized crime. By the way, hey Miss Reynolds, I am in no way stating that the clips and media in this video were mine and I made them. I simply downloaded them off of YouTube and used my voice and put the video together. That is the only part I am taking credit for.
What do we miss?